Welcome in, everyone. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the world of product quality.
It's great to be here.
It's something that, let's face it, it impacts all of us. Every single thing we buy, we use, we interact with these days, it all comes down to quality.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because even just a few years ago, quality almost felt like a bonus, right? Like a little something extra that companies strived for.
A cherry on top.
Yeah, exactly. But now it feels like it's make or break in so many industries.
Oh, absolutely. Customers just expect things to be top-notch. And with the power of online reviews, social media, like one misstep can really snowball on you.
Yeah, and you can't underestimate that pressure, right? The constant feedback loop. And then on top of that, you've got regulations that are getting stricter all the time.
Right, right. Which, don't get me wrong, good for us as consumers.
Oh, 100%. It keeps everyone honest. But it definitely puts businesses in a tight spot. They've got to get it right, and they've got to be able to prove they're getting it right.
High stakes, lots of pressure. So let's say you're a business owner, right? Maybe you're even the one actually building the product. What happens if the quality slips? What are the real-world consequences? Are we talking like lawsuits? Or am I being dramatic?
I mean, lawsuits are definitely possible, especially if things go really, really wrong.
Right,
But even before you get to that point, you've got damage to your reputation.
right.
Which, let's be honest, that can be incredibly hard to recover from.
Once it's out there.
Exactly. Think about a product recall that's all over the news. Social media is blowing up, customers are suddenly wary, and it's really hard to earn back that trust.
Yeah. It's interesting you mentioned that because I was reading that McKinsey actually found that companies with strong quality measures in place, they can reduce their defect rates by up to 50%.
It's huge.
Which is, I mean, it's not just good business, it's potentially saving you from like a PR nightmare.
Exactly, exactly. It's not just about the bottom line. It's about protecting your brand, your reputation.
So that's the avoiding disaster side of things. But there's got to be a whole positive spin on this too, right? Getting this quality thing right, it's not just about not messing up. It's about getting ahead.
100%. Think about brands you trust, products that you recommend without hesitation. Chances are they've nailed the quality game.
They just get it.
They get it, and it translates to tangible results. McKinsey, they also found that companies really focusing on this, on quality, saw up to a 10% increase in market share. And that's massive.
That's not insignificant.
Not at all. So yeah, it's not just defense. This is offense, too. This is how you win.
It makes you think about your own buying decisions too, right? Have you ever been like on the fence about a product and then you see all these amazing reviews and everyone's praising the quality? Suddenly you're a little more willing to take the plunge.
It's that peace of mind factor, right? You know you're not wasting your money on something that's going to break down or disappoint you.
Exactly, exactly. All right, so we're all on board. Quality is important. We've established this. But before we go any further, can we maybe do a quick, jargon check?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because, we hear quality control, we hear quality assurance. These terms get thrown around a lot.
All the time.
But sometimes it feels like everyone's got a different definition.
It's classic buzzword overload, right?
Right.
But the distinction is actually pretty simple.
Okay, good.
So imagine you're ordering a custom cake online, okay?
All right, I'm with you.
Quality control, or QC for short, that's like the baker doing that final check before the cake leaves the shop.
Yeah.
They're making sure the design is right, no smudges, everything's in place, that final once-over.
Okay, so catching errors, but at the last minute. Important, but not ideal.
Exactly. Now, quality assurance, QA, this is more like the baker, making sure they're using the freshest ingredients, the right oven temperature, maybe even double-checking the recipe before they start. It's about building quality into every single step, so you're less likely to have problems in the first place.
Got it. So QC is reactive, QA is proactive.
Oh, got it.
Okay, I see the light bulb, but then how does this actually play out in a world that's, more and more high-tech every single day? That's where I'm really curious, because it's not just about human eyes inspecting things anymore.
No, not at all. And that's what we're going to dive into today, because this is where it gets really interesting. We're going to be exploring a company called 4Geeks. And what they're doing is, well, it's pretty revolutionary in terms of bringing quality into the digital age.
Now you have my attention.
We're talking sensors, AI, data analysis, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, hold on, because I have a feeling we're about to step into the future of quality control here.
Yeah.
So let's unpack 4Geeks, what they're doing. Because I have a feeling this is going to change how a lot of us think about this whole world of making things.
It definitely will. 4Geeks is more than just a software solution. They've created this whole platform to manage quality from every single angle.
Yeah.
It's not just fixing issues, it's predicting them before they even happen.
It's not just fixing issues, it's predicting them before they even happen. Okay, now you've really got my attention. Could you give us a peek behind the curtain? What is it about 4Geeks? What's the secret sauce that makes them so different?
So imagine this. You're on the factory floor, right? But instead of just seeing, the production line, you're seeing this live stream of data. You're seeing information about every component, every single process. That's what 4Geeks does with its data-driven approach.
Right.
They've got sensors everywhere, gathering information constantly.
So you're not just relying on like some outdated report. You're seeing potential problems basically in real time.
Exactly. You're not waiting for things to hit the fan. You're ahead of the game.
That's a game changer.
Yeah.
But how does all that data translate into like actual action? Is it just people staring at spreadsheets all day trying to make sense of it all?
No, not at all. That's where that's where the magic of AI comes in.
Okay, here we go. Bring on the robots.
Right. So 4Geeks uses artificial intelligence to actually analyze all that data, identify patterns, and flag potential problems.
So before they even impact production.
Exactly. Think of it like, having this incredibly vigilant assistant who never sleeps, never misses a detail, constantly crunching the numbers.
Okay, this is getting futuristic.
Yeah.
But I like it. But paint a picture for me here. What does this actually look like in practice? This AI-powered quality control, I mean.
Okay, so let's say you're in the auto industry, right? Where it's all about precision, safety, it's high stakes.
Absolutely.
So instead of relying solely on human inspectors to check every single weld on a car chassis,
Right.
4Geeks can use AI-powered cameras and sensors to do that automatically.
Wow.
So you're not just catching more defects, you're doing it with this level of consistency and accuracy that humans they can't match.
Right. And I imagine that's got to have a pretty big impact, not just on like catching the problems, but on the bottom line too. Catching these things early, preventing the bigger problems down the line.
Yeah.
That's got to save some money, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's huge. And it goes beyond just catching the defects. 4Geeks takes this whole prevention over cure idea to a whole new level with what they call predictive maintenance.
Predictive maintenance.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're back to that crystal ball concept.
Yes, exactly. So instead of waiting for a piece of equipment to break down, which means costly downtime, delays, all that,
Right.
4Geeks uses AI and machine learning to actually predict when that maintenance will be needed.
Wow.
They're analyzing data from sensors, historical performance, even external factors like even the weather to try to get ahead of those potential problems.
So it's less firefighting and more like, strategic planning.
Exactly.
Feel like that. But, let's say despite all of our best efforts, a problem does slip through. What then? I mean, is 4Geeks just about prevention, or can it help us like solve those problems faster as well?
That's where their AI-powered root cause analysis comes in.
Okay.
So instead of just fixing the immediate issue, 4Geeks helps you figure out why it happened in the first place.
Ah, so it's about like not just putting out the fire, but figuring out how to prevent it from happening again.
Precisely. And this is where the speed of AI is incredible. Deloitte, they found that companies using AI for this, they were able to get to the bottom of those quality issues 40% faster than those using traditional methods.
Oh, wow. And in today's world, that kind of speed, that's make or break.
Oh, absolutely. In this fast-paced business environment, that speed is everything.
So faster, smarter, more proactive.
Yeah.
I feel like 4Geeks is bringing quality control into like the 21st century.
It's a sea change for sure. And here's the thing, right? It's not just about, technology for technology's sake. It's about using that technology to achieve something really important.
Which is?
Trust, transparency.
Okay, unpack that a bit for me.
Yeah.
How does this all tie back to that? To trust.
So think about all those regulations we talked about before. Meeting those standards, it's not just about checking boxes, right?
Right.
It's about proving to your customers that you're serious about quality.
Right, you're putting your money where your mouth is.
Exactly. And 4Geeks gets that. They've built in these comprehensive reporting tools that make it easier than ever to demonstrate that compliance.
Oh, interesting. So it's almost like this digital paper trail, so to speak,
Yeah.
that proves you're actually, walking the walk. You're not just talking the talk when it comes to quality.
Exactly. Whether it's ISO 9001, HACCP, FDA regulations, 4Geeks, they've got you covered. They help you track the data, generate reports, show that you're meeting the standards every step of the way.
That's incredible. This is all incredibly impressive. But Um, I know what our listeners are thinking right now.
Yeah,
Show me the proof.
right.
Are there real-world examples of companies actually using 4Geeks to get these kinds of results?
Absolutely. One that comes to mind is this electronics manufacturer. They were struggling with really high defect rates on their printed circuit boards.
So we've got this electronics manufacturer. They're battling these defect rates. What happens? How does 4Geeks come into the picture?
So they implemented the 4 Weeks platform right across their production line.
Okay.
And the results were really something. They managed to reduce their defect rate, get this, by 35%.
That's huge.
It is. That led to a 15% boost in production.
Wow.
Oh, and a 20% reduction in wasted
So
materials.
it's win-win-win.
Exactly. It shows you how focusing on quality can make you more efficient and reduce waste.
It's not just about, like, making something perfect. It's about all the other benefits that come along with that.
Absolutely.
Are there other industries where you see 4Geeks really making a splash?
Oh, tons. The pharmaceutical industry is another great example.
Oh, right, because in pharma, precision, consistency,
Yeah.
that's everything.
It's mission critical. You can't mess around. Imagine, a company that's constantly dealing with downtime in their production.
Right, and not just the financial hit, but we're talking about, like, life-saving medications potentially being delayed.
Exactly. The stakes are incredibly high.
So how does 4Geeks step in that kind of situation?
Well, this particular company, they decided to implement those predictive maintenance tools we were talking about earlier.
Right.
And they saw a 50% reduction in unplanned downtime.
Wow.
Yeah. Production lines are running smoother, more reliably, and those medications, they're getting out there without a hitch.
It's amazing to see how this technology is not just changing the way we make things, but the way we think about making things better.
It really is a paradigm shift. For the longest time, quality has been seen as, this burden, this cost center, something you have to do.
Right, like checking a box.
Exactly. But what we're seeing now is that quality, it can be this incredible advantage. It can drive innovation. It can drive growth.
It's like that old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Right.
Investing in the right tools, the right systems up front, it saves you so much down the line.
100%. And the amazing thing is, with technology like we're seeing with 4 Geeks, that ounce of prevention, it's getting smarter, it's getting more effective, and it's becoming more accessible all the time.
It's an exciting time to be paying attention to this world. So for our listeners out there, anyone who's ever, held a product in their hands and thought, how did they make this?
Right.
Or anyone who's responsible for making those products, here's a question to ponder. What could you do if quality wasn't a constraint, but a catalyst?
It's a great question.
What if you had this level of insight, this control over your work, your processes, even your products? It's something to think about. And on that note, I think it's time for us to surface from this deep dive into the world of quality. Until next time, everyone, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep striving for that excellence.